Tweet, 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 tweet. It's Bird Week, the week that I read you stories about birds.
Well, I like birds. If you're small.
Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to Library Class at Home with Mr. S. I hope everybody is having a nice week. So it's Bird Week. I'm reading you stories about birds, and I'm reading them from bird-like locations like this one. Maybe in the trees one day, maybe in a nest another day, I don't know. But it is Bird Week, and today's story is Six Crows, written and illustrated by one of my favorite authors, Leo Leone. So this is Six Crows. Stories about birds. All right. Six Crows by Leo Leone. In a peaceful valley at the foot of the Balbador Hills, a farmer cultivated a field of wheat. The soil was fertile and the spring rains had been very gentle. Life would have been good and happy were it not for six noisy crows who nested in a tree nearby. Let's see, are they all here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, here they are. And if you've ever heard a crow, they are very, very, very noisy. Just when the wheat was about to ripen, the crows descended upon the field and pecked away at the tender grains. Oh no. The farmer tried to chase the crows from the field, but no sooner had he returned to his hut than they were back. In desperation, he built a scarecrow. And check it out, that's a pretty cool scarecrow, right? If I was a bird, I'd be afraid. When the crows saw it standing in the wheat, waving a big stick, they were frightened. They huddled in their tree and wondered what to do. "We must scare that thing away," they said. "But how?" "Let's set the whole field on fire," said a crow. "But that would be the end of our wheat," the others said. There were many ideas. At last they agreed to make a ferocious kite. They gathered bark and dry leaves and made a fierce and very ugly bird. The next morning, they flew the kite over the field. The scarecrow did not budge, but the farmer was very frightened. He ran into his hut and he bolted the door tight. "I must build an even scarier scarecrow," he said. Soon a giant figure brandishing two swords stood in the wheat field. Its angry mouth seemed to grunt. "That should do," said the farmer. What do you think? Is that scary? Oh, it's kind of cartoony, but maybe if I saw it in real life, it would be scary. But when the crows saw the new menace, they gathered more bark and more leaves and built an even larger and more ferocious kite. They flew it over the field, back and forth. The farmer was so scared, he didn't dare leave his hut. From her nest in an old tree, an owl had been watching the goings-on. She shook her head. "I don't know who is sillier, the farmer or the crows," she thought. When she noticed that the wheat was wilting from neglect, she decided to talk to the farmer. "Why don't you make peace, you and the crows?" she said. "It's too late now," said the farmer angrily. "Why, it's never too late to talk things over," said the owl. Then she went to see the crows. "What can we do now?" asked the crows, dismayed when they heard that the wheat crop was in danger. "Go and talk things over," said the owl. "Words can do magic." The crows and the farmer agreed to meet near the owl's nest. While the owl looked on, they talked and talked. First in anger, then more reasonably, and finally like old friends. "I must confess that I miss your happy cackling," said the farmer. "And we missed your wheat," said the crows. Soon they were laughing together. "We must thank the owl," said the farmer. "But where is she?" Her nest was empty. They looked all over. They went to the field. There stood the giant scarecrow, but something was different. The nasty grin had turned into a happy smile. The owl perched on the giant's arm. "What happened?" they asked. "Oh, just a bit of magic," she said. And that is the end of the story. So what do you guys think? That was a cool story, right? It was the second story that featured an owl. Remember, there was an owl in the story about the girl and the old lady yesterday. And here is a story where a wise owl sort of saved the day. Did you guys like this story? If you did, leave me a comment on my Google Classroom page and tell me how much you liked it. Or if you didn't like it, you can leave me a comment and tell me that too. But either way, don't forget to press the turned in button when you're done watching this video. And check back tomorrow. We'll have another great video for Bird Week, the week where I read you stories about birds. Bye, boys and girls.
Hey, Mr.s, can't you make an impression of a crow?
I can do an excellent impression of a crow. Ready?
Not bad.